Need to keep the record mode. Record mode started. Today concept name is dynamic handling file system concept. Very important concept, that is dynamic handling file system concept. Today concept name is dynamic handling file system. Dynamic handling file system. Today concept name is dynamic handling file system concept. So before going to this concept, first of all we should know what is flat file. What is flat file? Flat file is nothing but it doesn't have any predefined format. It doesn't have any predefined format. Any predefined format. It doesn't have any predefined format. It doesn't have any predefined format, so that's why we can call it is a flat file. Flat file is nothing but it doesn't have any predefined format. Whatever you want you can write it. There is no restrictions. There is no restrictions like only alphabets, only numeric values, so only special characters. There is no restrictions. Whatever you want you can write it. So that's the reason we can call it is a flat file. Example, notepad text document. Notepad text document. There is no restrictions. Whatever you want you can write it. So that's the reason we can call it is a flat file. Today concept is dynamic handling file system concept. What is dynamic handling file system concept? If you want create a new file in file system, if you want create a new file in file system, if you want create a new file in file system, comma, if you want to write the data into the file system, if you want write the data into the file system, data into the file system, comma, if you want to get the data from get the data from file in file system, if you want create a new file in file system, if you want write the data into the file in file system, if you want get the data from file in file system, we will use file system concept. We will use file system concept. If you want create a new file in file system, if you want write the data into the file in file system, if you want get the data from file in file system, we will use file system concept. Without going to D drive or E drive, directly we can create a new file in file system. We can write the data into the file in file system. We can get the data from file in file system. We will use file system concept. Without going to D drive or E drive or F drive, direct through code, we can create a new file. We can write the data into the file. We can get the data from file. We will use file system concept. So what is that concept? We will discuss. If you want to create a new file in file system, if you want to write the data into the file in file system, if you want to get the data from file in file system, we will use 5 predefined classes. 5 predefined classes. We will use 5 predefined classes. For that we are using 5 predefined. We will use 5 predefined classes. One is file, next file writer, buffer writer, file reader, buffer reader. If you want to create a new file in file system, if you want to write the data into the file in file system, if you want to get the data from file in file system, we will use file system concept. For that we are using 5 predefined classes: file, file writer, buffer writer, file reader, buffer reader. So what is the use of file? all are predefined classes. If it is predefined classes, we should import the statements. If it is predefined classes, compulsory we should import the statements. File is used for we can create a new file in file system. Using file writer, we can write the data into the file system. If we write only file writer, we can't write the data into the file system. Compulsory we should take the reference from buffer writer. Then only we can able to write the data into the file system. What is this? File writer. If you write only file writer, we unable to write the data into the file system. Compulsory we should take the reference from buffer writer. Then only we can able to write the data into the file system. Next, file reader. We can read the data from file system. If you write only file reader, we can't read the data from file system. Compulsory we should take the reference from buffer reader. Then only we can able to get the data from file system. That is buffer reader. So these are the 5 predefined classes. Using these predefined classes, we can create a new file in file system. We can write the data into the file in file system. We can get the data from file in file system. We will use file system concept. For that, we are using 5 predefined classes: file, file reader, buffer reader, file reader, buffer reader.
Sir, what is the difference between file reader and buffer reader?
Yeah, only right. So only if you use file reader, we can't read the data from file system. Compulsory we should create the constructor. How to create the constructor, I will tell you. So constructor means just like it is a connection between those things. So constructor is something, it is used for we can create an object very easy way. We can create an object very easily. We can construct the variables very easily. We can construct the object very easily. I will tell you, I will show you, madam. So just you should remember only one thing, madam. So only if you write file writer, we can't write the data into the file system. Compulsory we should take the reference of buffer writer. Then only we can write the data into the file system. So how we can create file, how we can write the data into the file, we will discuss now. Very important concept. Go to India, go to SRC, take the new class. File is a already predefined class, so just take spell mistake. Keep the mark public start quiet menu, click on finish. File f equal to new file. File f equal to new file. I'm giving path d colon jabin dot txt. I'm creating one file jabin dot txt. F dot create new file. So it will create new file. Without using create new file also, it will create the file. Just this is just for understanding purpose, it will be very useful. So without creating file, create f dot new file, create new file, there is no need. So without giving this line also, it will create the new file, but still only meaningful purpose we are writing this line. Next, I want to write the data into the file system. File writer fw equal to new file writer, give the path of the file. Okay. Only if you write file writer, we can't write the data into the file system. Compulsory we should take the reference of buffer writer. Only for this logic purpose we are learning. Buffer writer BW equal to new buffer writer FW. Import the statements file writer. File writer. Import the all our predefined classes. We need to import the statements. Buffer writer, buffer writer, buffer writer. Right. So this file writer reference I'm giving here. So this is called constructor. I will tell you what is constructor, how we can create. I will tell you that concept also. Just here I'm file writer fw equal new file writer, buffer writer bw equal new buffer writer fw. That reference name I'm giving here. Just I'm constructing. I'm constructing. If we want to write anything with the reference of buffer writer only, we can write buffer writer dot write. Good morning, madam. Bw dot new line. If you want to write any extra lines, you can write it. Bw dot write. How is Trump? Bw dot new line. Bw dot write. By madam. So like we can write the data. So if you write the data, after writing the data compulsory, we should write flush. Bw dot flush. Bw dot flush. It can hold the data. Without flush, it cannot hold the data. So yesterday we discussed throws. Throws example. I have told you. Throws is a predefined class in Java. It can handle all the exceptions at a time. Here, how many exceptions it is showing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 exceptions it is showing. That means underlines it is showing. So keep the cursor on any underline. Add throws declaration, IO exception. It can handle all the exceptions at a time. Once again, I will show you, madam. After writing the code, all are predefined classes. File writer, buffer writer, it is a predefined classes. Whenever you using any predefined classes, automatically we can get underlines. So if we want to, just that means we should add the throws. We should add throws. Add throws declaration. So IO exception. It can handle all the exceptions at a time. So you just using this through code, we created one file Jabin in D colon. We wrote data into the colon. So here flush is very important. Flush, it can store the data or it can hold the data. It can store the data or it can hold the data. Without flush, it cannot hold the data. Compulsory, after writing the code, compulsory we should write flush. Flush is used for it can hold the data. It can hold the data. Save, click on run and go and check in D colon. Go and check in D colon. Jabin, good morning, madam. How is Trump? Bye, madam. So through code, we can create a new file in file system. We can write the data into the file system over. Next, I want to get the data from this file. I want to get the, for example, there is no flush. For example, I am commenting flush. Save, click on run. So there is no data in file, job in file. Go to D, go and check it. There is no data. So it can hold the data. Without flush, it cannot hold the data. Without flush, it cannot hold the data. So flush is very important, right? right? Now I want to get the data from D colon. How to get the data from D colon? File reader fr equal to new file reader, give the path buffer reader br equal to new buffer reader fr, new buffer reader fr. So here file reader fr equal new file reader, I'm giving path buffer reader br equal new buffer reader fr. Same logic. So here I want to use boolean. Here is not mandatory, no need, but in future there is no scope to use to boolean. So data is there or not. So boolean, what is the use of boolean? It will give true or false. Is there any data in the d colon jabin file? Is there any data or not? I want to check. So I want to use boolean. Boolean reference name b equal to br dot ready. Ready method is used for data is there or not, it will check. If it is data is there, it will give true, otherwise it will give false. S5 S4 control space B, right? If it is data there, it will give true, otherwise it will give false. These two lines not very important here. So just for if it is data is there, then it will give true, otherwise it will give false. File reader, file reader, buffer reader, right? Now I am writing while loop. So how many fixed number of times that loop should be execute? If we know that figure or number, then only we can use for loop. But how many lines of data is there? I don't know. So I want to use while loop. While br dot ready, br dot ready. So store in one string, string s equal to br dot read line s5 s4 control space s. It will print in console area. So file reader fr equal new file reader, buffer reader br equal new buffer reader fr. So now I am using boolean. It is these two lines not very important here. Boolean b equal to br dot ready. So ready method is for data is there or not, it will check. If it is data is there, so it will print true or false. And I am writing while loop while br dot ready. So if it is data is there, store in one string s. So print s. Save, click on run. True, data is there, true. Good morning, madam. How is Trump? Bye, madam. So this is the concept to dynamic handling file system concept. This is the concept to dynamic handling file system concept. So compulsory practice required, madam. So it's not very easy. So, but concept is very easy. But while writing the script, so you can face some problems. So once you should practice. Madam, you there? Jabin, madam.
Yes, sir.
Is there any doubt? Ask me now.
No, I want to see how it runs now.
No, while writing the code, compulsory you should face some problems. So, yeah, true. Good morning, madam. How is Trump? Bye, madam. Okay. Whatever we wrote, that the data we are getting from file. Okay. So this
So
is the
in the D
concept.
drive, is there a file called Jabin.text?
Jabin.txt already created one file, Jabin.txt. So Go to drive jebin.txt. Mm,
Okay.
Good morning, madam. How is Trump? Bye, madam. So this is the concept of dynamic and handling web table concept. Small concept, next concept, reflection API. Next concept name is reflection API. Reflection API. API means application programming interface. Application programming interface. API means application programming interface. What is API? API contains some set of predefined classes. Set of predefined classes. Predefined classes. Among them, one of the class method class. One of them, among them, one of the class method class. What is the use of method class? Method class reference can hold any other method in the specified class. So any other method in the specific method class reference can hold any other method in the specified class, comma, using same reference, we can invoke that method. We can invoke that method. So reflection API. Application programming interface. API contains some set of predefined classes, among them one of the class method class. Method class reference can hold any other method in the specified class. Using same reference, we can invoke that method. Using same reference, we can invoke that method. Using same reference, we can invoke that method. That is the method class use. So simply we can say, once again I will repeat you. Application API means application programming interface. API contains some set of predefined classes. Among them, one of the class that is method class. What is the use of method class? Method class reference can hold any other method in the specified class. Using same reference, we can invoke that method. Or we can say, simply we can say, or we can say simple definition, within one line. Or we can say, using method class reference, using method class reference, we can call the static function from another class. We can call the static function from another class. we can call the start using method class reference. We can call the static function from another class. Syntax: class name dot function name. Class name dot function name. This is the mass. Using method class reference, we can call the static function from another class. Syntax: class name dot function name. 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 So what is reflection API? We will discuss. Go to SRC. Take the new class. Class name is API. I'm taking class name is API. Only class I am taking, and I'm writing one function: public static void login. Login function I am writing. So if it is function bracket required, so control space login logic here. Right. I have taken one class, that is the API. I wrote one function, that function name is login. Go to SRC, take the new class ref. Keep the mark public static void menu, click on finish. I want to call that function. If it is non-static, we can create the object and we can call from this main method. We can call from main method or another class. We can call from main method or another class. If it is non-static, we can create the object and we can call that function. But that is static function. API is in the API class, I wrote function is static function. I want to call that function from this main method. So first, store in one string is equal to function name is login. Function name is login. Method m equal to previous class name API dot class dot get method. Get method is m dot invoke m dot invoke m. After writing the code, automatically it will show you underlines. So we need to add throws. Add throws declaration. Here we can get to 5 exceptions. No such method exception, security exception, illegal access exception, illegal argument exception, illegal access exception, illegal argument exception, invocation target exception. So recently one of the student, he faced an interview, that interviewer, they asked one question: what are the exceptions in Java? So just to tell me 3 to 5 exceptions. He said cart exception and uncart exception. They said go. So there are 7 exceptions in available in Java. We will learn only 7 exceptions. One is IO exception. Yesterday we got it. File not found exception. Yesterday only we got it. Now only, just today class only. Dynamic only file system only. So IO exception, file not found exception, no such method exception, security exception, illegal access exception, illegal argument exception, invocation target exception. These are the 7 exceptions in Java. So what is this concept? Today concept two, I want to call the static function from another class using method class reference. So first of all, I am taking storing that function in one string. String is equal to login. Method. So method is the predefined class. M equal to API, previous class name, dot class dot get method s. S means string. So m dot invoke m, same method class reference, we can invoking that function. So that's the reason it is a reflection API or method class. Method class is nothing but it is a predefined class in Java. Method class reflection API is nothing but it is a predefined class in Java. It contains some predefined methods or functions. Among them, one of the class that is the method class. What is the use of method class? Method class reference can hold any other method in the specified class using same reference. Using same reference, we can invoke that method. That is the method class. If I click run, whatever you wrote that logic, it will print here. Login logic here, login logic here. So, or otherwise we can write simple mass method. This is the mass one, just only for general knowledge purpose. So class name dot function name. Class name is API dot function name login. Simply we can call that function. Save, click on run. Login logic here. So I commented that line, no use of method class. So without method class also we can call that function very simple. Class name dot function name. Class name dot function name. This is the concept. Just you should practice these two concepts, madam. Tomorrow I can complete Java. At any cost I can complete Java tomorrow. Now after that we can enter into Selenium. Tomorrow we have three concepts. One is overriding and interface and arrays concept. Constructor I will teach you later after entering into Selenium, then only I will teach you constructor. So here we have three things we should learn. One is overriding, interface and arrays concept. This is the concept you should practice ma.